on, there YouTube? It is Charles here, and this is another edition of Judge a Book by its cover. Where we're not going to talk about what's inside the book, but we're going to talk about the cover, the art. Because, as I always say, comic books are not merely a written medium, but an artistic medium as well. And the cover oftentimes tells as much of the story as the inside of the book. So, with comic books, sometimes you can indeed judge a book by its cover. Today, we're going to be looking at an independent comic from a friend of the channel, Larry Higgins. In his book, NYOBI, and this is the NYOBI Outbreak series, the current series, number 4. He has it on Kickstarter, I believe, and you can order it from his eBay store. And check out his YouTube channel. It was NYOBI Comics. Now it's NYOBI Gaming, where he does gaming live streams, and you can shoot the shit back and forth with him. And a great guy, a great comic book writer, and he works with amazing artists, as you can tell. And one thing I like about him is his focus on NYOBI. He talks. I wish I knew more about his catalog, but I know he is the creator and writer of NYOBI and Savage Sin, and he's just very passionate about this character, about the world building, and the stories told. And he takes his time with these characters, and when you hear him talk about comics, you know he's not jaded and he doesn't mail anything in. Every panel, you can tell he puts a lot of thought and a lot of work in. And on top of the bubbly exterior, it has deeper meaning and tackles a lot of current issues in an accessible way. I have said it before, and virtually every review I've done reviews on every issue of NYOBI Outbreak, and I did reviews on NYOBI Birthright as well on this channel. They're going to be buried in the channel, but if you look for Old Nerd Reviews WY, NYOBI, you will be able to find my previous reviews of these books. And I've described it as the X-Men covered in sugar, so to speak. And this cover right here is a great example. We start with, of course, you have the alluring, scantily clad female protagonist here. And so you have that visual that catches your eye when you walk into the comic book store and lets you know this is going to be an action piece geared more toward adults. And it's not going to take itself too seriously. And you have the fun logo here on the top that is in the pink. And usually the character is just their usual get up. But what you find when you look at even the alternate covers and the way that she looks here inside the book is, let me get you a closer look at the cover here, is the only two changes are she doesn't have the skirt that she customarily wears, and she has this face mask here, which is apropos and actually tells a part of the story. It is about an outbreak, so to speak. And so I thought the gas mask in the front and the A cover was a very, very smart decision to let you know what's going on. And the lack of the skirt, I can't say what prompted the artist to do that, but I think it is meant to be somewhat alluring. And you do have the NYOBI ponytails and her face makeup there. And she comes from the world of Japanese pop idols, and so everything is going to be bubbly and pink and kawaii. And that's an element that you also see here with the character. But while she is kawaii, she's also tough, which is exemplified via the leather jacket here. And so, I haven't even opened the book yet, and you already get so much information from the cover. And also behind her, you have floating this vehicle back here. So what does that tell you about the environment? We are in a futuristic setting. A world not too much unlike ours from the buildings and from the surrounding area, but Like I said, we have the floating vehicle here, some kind of ship or drone. And then here, subtly, in the bottom left, you see a hand with blood currently coming out of it. So this is her fresh off of beating down a bad guy. It's subtle. If you don't look, you can almost miss it. But once you see it, you see that, it's something that's clear. And I think also juxtaposition. I can the difference between the bubbly, sugar-coated Hawaii aesthetic of the cover, but just out of frame, you have bloody violence, and you have a little bit of gritty realism in this um, hyper stylized world. And the cover itself is by, I remember looking at this, and it's by the actual artist who did the interiors. So yeah, cover A is done by Juan Antonio Ontiveros, and the colorist Dan Olvera. They did this A cover here, and they do a brilliant job throughout the book as well. I am not going to show you the inside of the book because, like I said, like I always say in other reviews, I want you to experience it for yourself. I'll give you a little tease, a little taste, so you can see some of the fun action that you're going to experience. But don't be fooled. This book is not merely about aesthetic. It is taking a serious issues really. Genomes, which would be this universe's equivalent of mutants and genomes rights, and genomes who may not know that they're genomes, and they're forced through no fault of their own to come out of the genome closet. And how is that experience going to change them? Is it going to harm them mentally, physically? Is it up to them? Or should it be thrust upon them to accept this truth? And that's just one layer of the complexity of this story. So check it out. This was put out by Antarctic Press. Unfortunately, until recently, the whole debacle with Diamond Distributing messed up a lot of books. And like I said, Larry, what he's done is he's selling them to eBay, and via his NYOBI Gaming YouTube channel. You can check him out. His live streams are always entertaining. And if you want to get an insight into the world and mind of a comic book creator and someone who's passionate about comic books, I cannot suggest his channel enough. But check it out. I believe we are at NYOBI number 4 right now of this series. I've absolutely loved it thus far, and I'm definitely going to be checking out number 4 because these are characters that you care about and you want to see what happens and how things are resolved. And number 3 left off with a big time cliffhanger. So don't just wait for number 4. Go to your local comic book store, pick up NYOBI Outbreak 1, 2, and 3. You will not be disappointed. So anyway, thank you for watching the video. This has been an edition of Judge a Book by its cover. And you can indeed judge NYOBI Outbreak by its cover. I'm out.